We are getting into the courtroom as Microsoft battles the FTC over the Activision Blizzard merger. Let's break down some of the rather interesting talking points that just took place. Up next. What up guys, this is Kalo and I'm here to give you the lowdown on all things gaming, and if you're new here, feel free to subscribe to this channel for weekly video game news content, drop a like on the video, and welcome to the Weekend XP Share. Just when I thought nothing more could come out of the FTC versus Microsoft court hearings, even more juicy details have come out. So Phil Spencer, the head of Microsoft, was under a heavy amount of questioning, and his answers could have really swung the momentum in the FTC's favor. By way of their rather interesting points to question him on, they did the exact opposite and might have hurt their own case. These conversations will go on into the week, so bear with me as we try to cover any and all information, because this is too damn good not to talk about. But up first, Phil Spencer was asked about the Nintendo Switch, and why he allegedly didn't view it as a direct competitor to Xbox. This question was shut down rather quick, because he pointed out he gets weekly market share reports that do include all three console makers, being Sony, Xbox, and Nintendo. He also went on to say that they look at all three consoles as potential purchases for customers. More often than not, unless you're a big baller, you're more than likely to get only one of these consoles. And all three consoles do have similar libraries. But some consumers might be willing to make some sacrifices when it comes to price and lean towards a console that has more of a portability factor. Phil Spencer also did state games like Fortnite, Minecraft, and others are the most played games on all three consoles. But after a little break, Phil Spencer became rather candid in his response to further questions. The FTC talked about exclusive deals at length, and this in turn shown that Sony was a company that used money that was earned from games like Minecraft to sign more exclusives to their own platform. Now, I kinda sorta get what they're trying to ask here. They were trying to get to the point that because Sony does this and is rather aggressive in making exclusive deals, would that urge Microsoft to do the exact same thing? But then the FTC asked about the upcoming Indiana Jones game, which I want to note is a Disney IP, now being an Xbox exclusive. Phil Spencer then replied that one of Sony's biggest games is a Disney-owned IP, being Insomniac's Spider-Man. So, when you look at all the evidence presented, Sony is the most guilty party in signing games to exclusive deals that lock them off to PlayStation and PlayStation only. But Phil Spencer did say a while back, games will be taken on a case-by-case basis when it comes to their exclusivity. And like I've stated countless times before, it would be wise for Xbox to keep a game like Call of Duty multi-platform, simply because they can really earn a boatload of money from it. And Minecraft is a prime example of that out in the wild. The judge picked up on this exclusivity matter rather quick, and it was brought to their attention that Final Fantasy XVI just released as an exclusive to PlayStation, and it's skipping Xbox because it signed a contract with Sony. But then we moved on to Call of Duty, and I'm going to paraphrase this here because there's just so much to go through, but Phil Spencer said, first off, this is a $69 billion investment, and PlayStation is the most popular place to play Call of Duty. Pulling that game off PlayStation isn't financially possible, and it would be impossible to make up that money spent if they pulled the game. Along with all that, there's the irreparable harm it would cause to Xbox's reputation. After that, the judge asked Phil Spencer under oath, will you commit to Call of Duty and will you make it the same? Phil replied, quote, I will. I am making a commitment standing here that I will not pull Call of Duty from PlayStation. Sony has to allow us to do so, but my testimony is we will continue to ship Call of Duty on PlayStation platforms. And there you have it, under oath and everything. The FTC's argument has gone up in flames. After a while, the FTC did try to ask the same questions about the cloud, and the judge was having none of that, saying, quote, I don't need that. I will be cutting off your questioning. But now Microsoft has a public commitment, a written contract for PlayStation to sign, and a commitment to PlayStation under oath. But one of the more interesting findings in this court case was that PlayStation tried to make Starfield a console exclusive. And Bobby Kotick threatened to remove Call of Duty from Xbox, so this is why they're looking to purchase Activision Blizzard. But here's a tweet from Twitter user @RebsGaming that gave us the specific quote from Phil Spencer in regards to all of this. Quote, when we acquired ZeniMax, one of the impetus for that is that Sony had done a deal for Deathloop and Ghostwire to pay Bethesda to not ship those games on Xbox. So the discussion about Starfield, when we heard that, Starfield was potentially also going to end up skipping Xbox. We can't be in a position as a third place console where we fall further behind on our content ownership. So we've had to secure content to remain viable in the business. But honestly, things couldn't have gone any better in the courtroom for Microsoft and Phil Spencer. And speaking of Phil Spencer, he spoke in such an impressive manner all day long when responding to those key questions. But with all that being said, I'm gonna pass this question off to you guys. What do you guys make of all this? More specifically, Sony paying devs to keep games off of Xbox. And do you honestly think this seals the deal for the Activision Blizzard merger? But that about does it here. I've been Kalo. I gave you the lowdown on all things gaming, and if you're new here, feel free to subscribe to this channel for weekly video game news content. Drop a like on the video, and this has been the Weekend XP Share.